Well, hello there, everybody. Good morning. I mean, good morning if you're watching live. It might not be morning where you're watching it, for being honest, but happy Sunday. Happy day after UFC 322, and welcome to a brand new edition of On to the Next One. The matchmaking crowns have returned following last night's UFC 322 event at Madison Square Garden, the Mecca, the world's most famous arena in New York City. We had two championship fights with very high significance, and neither fight was competitive. Islam Makhachev, one-way traffic, dominates Jack Della Maddalena, is now a two-division champion. He is now the UFC welterweight champion of the world. Conversations will be had on the show in regards to what is next for Islam Makhachev. And in the co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko took on Zhang Weili in what a lot of people believed was the biggest women's MMA fight ever in the history of the sport. And much like what Islam Makhachev did, one-way traffic for Valentina Shevchenko. This fight was not competitive for more than maybe 8 seconds. Huge win for Valentina Shevchenko, and a lot of other crazy things happened at this event, and we'll talk about it from a matchmaking perspective. But ladies and gentlemen, I am Mike Heck. Thank you for joining us once again. And joining me as always is the co-host, the co-matchmaker, the Prince of Positivity. Gosh darn it, he's my best friend. Where is he? There he is, the one and only Alexander K. Lee. AK, how we doing? How's Canada? How we feeling after UFC 322?
Mike, my best friend. Canada's great. UFC 322, we made it, man. We made it. It was a long road to get to this event. A lot of stuff had to fall into place, and it did, and we got these two great matchups. I hope people aren't too disappointed with how the action turned out, because I think you and I and a lot of people in the media had kind of warned ahead of time, like, these might not be the most exciting matchups from an in-cage, like just from an action standpoint. Like, no, I hope like people weren't expecting, JDM Makhachev to look like, JDM Bilal, which was a great fight, except, it was one guy who was, a wrestler who chose to stand a little bit more, and we got a great fight out of it, talking about Bilal. I don't hope people didn't think that's how Islam was going to go. I thought the co-main would be a little more. I know I had warned that the co-main again would have more lulls. I just didn't think it'd be so one-sided, which I think made it even less compelling to watch for a lot of viewers. So, yeah, it kind of sucks that we ended with two championship fights that we will not really be talking about much from an action standpoint. We won't be rewatching them. We won't be putting those on at parties, when people come over and ask to put the UFC on the big screen. Probably won't be putting on Islam and JDM or Valentina and Zhang Weili. But from a like historical standpoint, or drama standpoint, it kind of delivered. It kind of was. I will say those last two fights kind of reflected the vibe of the night, Mike, where there was a lot of triumphant moments, but on the other side, there was quite a bit of sadness as well throughout the evening. If we could just go like very quickly, kind of blow by blow here. Obviously, seeing JDM just kind of go out like that was really disappointing. Seeing Zhang like kind of real, we all kind of got this realization like, oh, like she has to stay at 115. She's not going to become a two-division champion. Like this, just we're glad this fight happened, but maybe it shouldn't have. I don't know. Sean Brady, Leon Edwards, two guys who now we have to question will they ever get a title shot. Beneil Dariush, Father Time catching up to him, now finished 3 in his past 4 fights. Malcolm Wellmaker, you feel a little bit bad for him. He got his quote unquote hype train derailed. He'll be fine. He'll be back. Gerald Mearshart, his first post Duke Rufus fight. You could tell how emotional he was and how badly he wanted it, but also like Gerald could not have been close to 100% mentally going into this fight, and it was sad to watch. And again, Angela Hill, sort of hitting a wall here, losing to an up and coming prospect. So even some of the winners, Surkayev, he won. Had a highlight reel knockout, but like up to that point, there were some questions about like his attitude and like whether he took that fight seriously. So for all the good, and I think there was more good than bad. It's weird. Like I couldn't shake some of the sort of more depressing narratives of the evening, Mike.
Yeah, it was an emotional ride all around, and like even and that sort of like encapsulates the card. Like there was some good and some bad, I guess, and there was some happiness and some sadness and some eye-opening moments, both good and bad. And then you have Bo Nickal, who gave us both, who had like the best performance of his career, capped it off with an exclamation point, and then that damn microphone had to turn on, and he ruined everything. Like he just ruined everything. I could not believe what this man was saying. Like this, it was not as like I would think he would have learned a lesson after the Paul Craig stuff, and he was so good like all week. And I know he was getting booed, and I know like he had a chip on his shoulder. And if you want to flip off the crowd, that's fine. But when the mic comes on and you just like say your prayers, take your vitamins, drink your milk, but I work harder in one day than you work in your whole life. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you're such a dink. It just drives me crazy that he has to do that. Like, you can't be humble and a prick at the exact same time. Like, I even said this on the watch party. If fighters could have managers, like if Paul Heyman could come in and just like talk for a fighter, no one needs it more than Bo Nickal. Truly and utterly, no one needs a mouthpiece more than Bo Nickal. He should really look into this because the UFC really likes him. He should be like, hey, can I be the first fighter to have like a talking head, like a talking manager, an advocate, so to speak? Because he needs one so badly. He just needs to not talk. And I think he'd be okay. But that was one thing, Bo Nickal. Let's just get right into it, AK. Let's not mess around. This was a very interesting process for me, but I think I'm happy with where I landed. And to me, like, most of my picks, like there are some that I just think are kind of obvious, and there are some that I'm just vibing and just trying to sort of put out into the ether because this is what we need and this is what should happen, and anything else is just truly and utterly wrong. So let's start with Islam Makhachev, AK. Islam Makhachev makes history. He becomes a 2-division champion. I think he's the 12th fighter to accomplish this feat. 11th or 12th, I'm not really sure. I don't remember off the top of my head.
11th. Now, he would have been the 12th if Zhang Weili had also done it. So 11th.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
She was vying to become the 11th and then him the 12th, but only one person did it, so the 11th.
So he is number 11. He beat everybody he could in this division. It was time for him to move up. I would have loved to have seen the Arman fight. They tried to make it. It is not his fault that it didn't happen. So he did everything he could at 155 pounds, in my humble opinion. Moves up to welterweight, takes on Jack Della Maddalena. I thought this fight would be a little more competitive. I didn't think we'd get JDM Bilal. I thought we'd get maybe a step below Islam Dustin Poirier to some degree. Like, I kind of thought we'd get something similar. But that is not what happened at all. In fact, JDM now is now the champion of one thing. The GOAT of one thing. The GOAT of the most frustrated fighter I've ever seen in a fist fight.
Gosh, he looks sad. He was frustrated. I can't remember the last time I saw someone wearing their frustration, and he looked like he might have hurt his leg too, right? But just the pain, the frustration, the humiliation he was wearing on his face. It was just so clear. I feel so bad for JDM.
It was Douglas Lima for many years. Douglas Lima fighting Yaroslav Amosov. I was at that fight. I was sitting right where I could basically pretty much see the corner of Douglas Lima. And the frustration on that man's face of, I literally can't do anything to this guy. I'm just getting run over and there's nothing I can do about it but survive. That was the king moment for me as far as like a frustrated fighter until last night. Like the pain in his face from like when the horn sounded for the end of round 3 through the rest of the fight, I was just like, man, I wish I could teleport him anywhere else right now. Like Prince Street Pizza. Like, let's get him the Dana White pizza. Like, let's just put a smile on his face somehow. It was just a horrible place to be. This wasn't like fluffy Roman Dolidze, where it's just like he completely shattered Roman. But this is pretty damn close, man. Pretty damn close. Like, maybe not the most aesthetically pleasing performance, but dominant and incredibly impressive from Islam Makhachev. This is one-way traffic. This is all Makhachev from start to finish. And now, and they kept saying it on the broadcast, AK, this is moving day for the welterweight division because there are so many big fights on this card for the division. There were 3 of them on the main card. And you had the looming presence of Kamaru Usman sort of hanging over this fight. And all week long, it was Usman doing interviews with literally everybody he could. I want next. Me and Islam is the biggest fight the UFC can make right now. All of the things. And I think everyone knows how I felt about the Usman idea heading into this fight. I thought him getting a title shot could happen, but it was one of the more egregious title shots of all time. I understand he has accomplished a lot. And when I say these things about Kamaru Usman, I'm not taking anything away from what he has accomplished. In my opinion, he is at worst the 3rd greatest welterweight of all time. I have him at number 2. Saying he's the best is ridiculous. It's just pure and utter ridiculousness, especially in a world where George St. Pierre existed. Having said that, after what happened last night, I think Kamaru Usman getting a title shot is not just egregious. It is unbelievably ridiculous that this is even a thought. It's even a thought. And I remember being on the watch party. I'm like, all right, well, we're getting Islam Usman. Usman sitting in the crowd. I'm waiting for the face-off. I'm waiting for Usman to climb in, and they have this moment with Ali standing right in between them because he has to be in the middle of everything. And then Joe Rogan asks him the question, what do you want next? And I was like, oh, he's going to do it. He's going to call Usman. We're getting the face-off. You know what he says? Open the White House. I'm coming. Doesn't call Usman out. And to me, that was so telling because, again, Islam can go do 1,000 interviews now and say, I want to fight Kamaru Usman. It means nothing now. It means nothing. That moment is gone. And the look on Kamaru Usman's face when they showed him after Islam left the octagon told me everything I needed to know. That's a guy who is no longer confident he's getting a title fight. Could he still get it? Yes. And if he does, I will be going live on this channel and I'm going to, my head will literally explode live on YouTube. Having said that, this is a show we do where we want to be right. Okay. What is next for Islam Makhachev, AK? Are we going Kamaru Usman? Are you trying to make me upset? Are you going for the quote unquote content or are we going a different direction?
Mike, I would not do that to you. I would not do that to you. Wait, I have to ask though. Hold on. Wait, why can't, if they wanted to make the Kamaru Usman fight, why can't that, you don't think they wouldn't do that at the White House?
Why? That's not a White House. That's just not a White House fight.
America-ish versus.
No, even Dana said like, "Hey, we're not doing America versus the world."
Well, no,
and I actually believe him.
I believe him he can't. Most of his best fighters are not American right now. It's really not an option. But I think he meant he's not. I think he meant he's not leaning into that. Like I think there'll be some America versus not American matchups on the card. Like
yeah, I think showcased. I think it's like almost impossible to avoid it.
It just won't be. It just won't be like the majority of the card. I think is what he meant. So I think. So that to me didn't affect. I think you're right though. The fact that he didn't name Usman specifically was a bit suspicious. But I'm just devil's advocating here, Mike. And I know you've gotten there's plenty of devil's advocates for this matchup, so I know you don't need to hear all of it. But I don't know. I probably just become too jaded. I think after Henry got the immediate title shot at Aljo, I was like, you know what? I just don't care about anything anymore because I still think that was worse. I know Henry went out on top, and I know it was a sellable fight. I know they didn't have a lot of options because it was still in the stage where Aljo was the champion and Merab obviously wasn't going to fight him. So yeah, they went with Henry, and from a selling standpoint, it was fine. I hated it. And Henry looked good in that fight. So retroactively, people are okay with it. I don't think the Usman thing would be as bad because I know you've heard a lot of people tell you this already. He at least came back and beat a top 10 guy, right? He came back and beat a top 10 guy. So that's one. Two, matchup wise, is it not intriguing? Is there not the thought that this is the one guy at 170 or one of the few guys at 170 who has the wrestling to not just be completely overwhelmed by Islam and give him a fight? Like, and again, I don't want this. This is not my pick. But I will tell you, Mike, I will not be, I don't think anyone could be remotely as outraged as you if this happens, which I still think is a better than like 60% chance that it does.
I'm at a devil's advocate. You're devil's advocate.
Okay, let's go.
I hated the Henry Cejudo fight too.
Mm-hmm.
However, the UFC did not want Henry Cejudo in that fight. They wanted Sean O'Malley in the fight, and Sean was not ready to fight, and they had nothing else.
Yep.
They needed to fill that spot. Henry Cejudo was the other guy available. At least there's somebody there. Now, mind you, if this was a couple of years ago and we didn't have like a legit guy, like. Look, JDM was not the number one contender, and he got a title shot. Why? Because he was the only guy available.
He picked up the phone, right? Mike. He picked up the
phone. He picked up the phone. Shavkat was the guy, and Shavkat was injured. They needed Bilal to fight. JDM was the highest ranked guy available. Mm-hmm. So if that is the case, if it comes out to we called this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, and they all couldn't fight, so Kamaru Usman's in, okay. I will not be thrilled about it, but it's like, all right, if we couldn't get anybody else, then fine. There's legit 3 options better than Usman right now. There are 3 of them. Yeah. Guys who have put in the work. And I'm not, again, Kamaru Usman has 1 win in 4 years. And it was against Buckley, who's a fine fighter, but that was not what he did to Buckley was nowhere near as impressive as what Carlos Prates and Michael Morales did last night. And honestly, I was more impressed by Ian Gary and Carlos Prates and their fight. Like, this is just a good matchup for Usman to come back to. Like, Buckley was good. He was on a nice run, but look who Buckley beat along the way. He beat Wonder Boy. He beat Colby coming off the couch. He beat, those are his wins. And then even before that, it was like Nursultan Rutsabayev, like a fine win, but like not like he just has not done the work to me. He needs another win. He needs to fight Shavkat, plain and simple. Go fight Shavkat, because Shavkat now, because he's been out for so long and the division has moved ahead. Like, I would even say even though Shavkat, like, was the guy who was offered a title fight, did the UFC a favor by still fighting Ian Gary, I would even say giving Shavkat a title fight is a little egregious right now. I think he needs another win before he gets back in there. Why? Because there are so many guys that have been doing the work, that have been putting in the time, that have made moves in this division, that have made this division fun and interesting. Kamaru Usman is just like, okay, having him in the mixes obviously like adds some flavor to it. But the whole taste of the delicious drink is not because of Usman. It's because of Morales and Prates and what Brady was doing and Gary and even Bilal and JDM. Like, these guys have been winning fights and beating good dudes along the way, like all the way up, not just one time, multiple times. So again, if Usman just happens to be the available guy, okay, I'm all right with that. But that is the only way I'll be all right with it. Or if like they book somebody else, let's say they book Islam versus whoever for the White House, and then that whoever gets injured a month before, and Usman's the only guy who says yes, then I'll be okay with that too. I'm not saying it like would be a bad fight, but come on, man. Like, you just can't do this because, again, and this is the point I made, like, it's like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the Super Bowl, right? They went on a nice run. No one expected him to do it, but they're in the Super Bowl, and the NFL calls the Buccaneers head office and says, you know, you guys are good, and I really respect what you guys did this year, but the New England Patriots won 6 Super Bowls in the 2000s. So even though they're in the AFC, we're just going to move them to the NFC, and they're going to play in the Super Bowl instead. Like, that is the same thing. It's the same thing to me. So, no, you can't do Usman. But listen, if you pick it, I'm not going to go crazy.
No.
But if it happens, I will. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Mike, he's going to be no worse than the second person they call. The gears are in motion. I still feel like the gears are in motion.
Okay, if he's the second person they call, I will feel slightly better about it. If he is the first person they call, I'm gonna have a friggin' conniption. I'm gonna lose it if he's the first person they call.
Oh boy, this fight's gonna happen. I'm so sorry, Mike. This fight's gonna happen. So I'm not crystal balling it, thankfully, because I'm with you. I think there are more compelling challengers. One of whom is my pick. I just, you know what? I'm throwing him right to the fire. I don't think he's the number one guy in the contender line. I don't think we have the same pick. You're nodding. Mike is nodding. I don't think we have the same
pick.
Don't you? No, because I'm going with Michael Morales.
So am I.
Oh, you are?
I am 100% going with that.
I thought you were going to Prates. So you're going to have Prates kind of like shrug off the IMG loss and just kind of move it. So anyone who's listened to me during fight week or read my prediction I was being very like, there's no better way, like protective dad. I was being, because I love Michael Morales and I think he's going, no, because I think he's going to be a champion someday. I was doing a lot of, it's okay if Michael Morales loses this fight. You know, he's only 26 years old. He'll be fine. Like Sean Brady's, more advanced. Sean Brady's the wrestling. He won't be able to handle Sean Brady's wrestling. He'll get a loss and he's going to learn from it. Right. So I was essentially picking him to lose while still, waffling and being like, but he's still my guy to become champion someday. Well, I guess I'm done doubting him because, boy, he did not have an issue with Sean Brady's wrestling. He fought like a friggin' velociraptor. He had the arms forward and his ass like 10 miles away, which you can do, I guess, when you're tall and athletic and you can jab the other guy from across the friggin' cage. He had the perfect strategy. Like, he gave Sean Brady no opening to even attempt a deep takedown, and did great and looked great. Looked great when they did have to grapple. Looked great. It wasn't a lot of it, and it just KOs him. Just that beautiful striking takes him out. 19-0. What is he now? 19-0, 18-0. Where are we at with Michael Morales? 19-0. 20-0 would be a nice number if you could win that welterweight title in it. So I just don't think the UFC is going to do this, but we're the matchmakers here, Mike. I got to stop babying this guy. I got to stop doubting him. Damn, like I said, he's going to be the number one welterweight in the world someday. Maybe he is now, and maybe we should just give him that shot. So screw it. Let's do it.
100% with you.
Yeah.
Kamaru Usman just tweeted 24 minutes ago. I think this tweet just kind of tells you everything.
Oh.
Congratulations to the new champ at Makhachev MMA. Dominant performance. That's it. No call out. No see you soon. Just putting him over. Smart. I think that's a smart play from Kamaru Usman. I think that's a good way to do it. Don't call for it. You're just gonna piss people off. Yep. I think he's starting to understand that when you keep saying like everybody wants to see this and then the crowd goes mild every single time,
yes, I
think you have to take a look inside and say like, look, I know you want this goal of like getting back to the title, and that's great. But it'll just mean more if he goes and beats somebody else and then does it. You know what I mean? So I think that tweet, I think the look on his face last night was incredible. I was obviously with you. I admittedly wasn't as high on Michael Morales as everybody else. Like, I knew the talent was there. I just didn't think it was there to the degree it's at. What he did last night to Sean Brady was un-effing believable. Like, he was, when I look back at UFC 322, and there are big moments that happen on this card. When my grandchild comes to me 20 years from now and says, Grandpa, remember UFC 322 at Madison Square Garden? What's the first thing you think of? I will say Michael Morales. He stole the show. He was the big winner of the night. He's the MVP of UFC 322.
He had the longest scrums, Mike.
I think
he talked to the media for 14 hours this week.
They have something. I mean, and that just shows that they have something here. They have something with him. Like, it's not quite like Taporia, Spain, Georgia vibes, but it's big, man. Like, he is huge in Ecuador. He's more over than Cheeto is right now. Like, without question, he's more over than Cheeto is. They have a bona fide star in Ecuador with Michael Morales. At the end of the day, Michael Morales is a monster. I don't believe the tail of the tape for 1 second. Sometimes I'll look at it and be like, okay, maybe. There's no way that Michael Morales is 2 inches taller than Sean Brady. They said Brady was 5'10" and Michael Morales was 6 feet. There's no way. If Brady's 5'10", Morales is 6'7". He looks like he looks like he had two Sean Bradys stacked on top of each other. He's so big for the division. He's so athletic. And he's just so quick and good. Like, he is so much better beyond his years than even I thought. And I thought he would fight for the belt for sure. Here's what I'll say, though, AK. To me, right this second, and maybe this is recency bias, but I feel like even a month from now, I will say it will be one of the most intriguing fight the UFC can make right now for me personally is this Makhachev versus Michael Morales.
Woo, wow.
I am so fascinated by that fight. So fascinated. You want to know why? Because out of all the potential options that Islam Makhachev currently has in front of him, Michael Morales, to me, is the one guy I think who can beat Islam Makhachev. I think he can win. I think he can beat him. I think he can beat him. I don't think Usman can beat him. I don't think Gary can beat him. I don't think Prates can beat him. I think Michael Morales can beat him. I think he can. I think he's got the style, the size, the physicality. Like, he's going to be... Like, Islam was as big, if not bigger, than JDM last night. He ain't going to be bigger than Michael Morales. I don't care how much time it takes him. He's not going to be that big. Morales looks like a light heavyweight fighting at 170, and he moves like a flyweight. He's insane. I think he has a chance. I think this is the most intriguing fight. I think he has the best shot of beating Islam in this division right now. I don't think anybody else can, but I think Morales is the best chance.
Give him a shot.
I want to see this fight. I want to see it.
Well,
and you know what? We could be the protective dad here too. If he goes and fights Islam and like loses a competitive decision, so what? Guess what? He's 25, 26, goes back to the drawing board, wins a few more fights, and he's right back in there. He's gonna win the belt at some point. Let's just throw him in there. What he did to Sean Brady was so damn impressive. It's the best win in this division in a long time. Like, this was the standout performance in 2025 for the welterweight division. Give him his day in court. I would love this. I would love to see him fight Carlos Prates. I think that's a great fight too. Mm-hmm. But wouldn't it be better if Michael Morales is the champion and then he fights Carlos Prates. Like, what a friggin' steamroll of a fight that would be. So, yeah, I want Islam Morales. I want it so badly. I'm fascinated by it, and I hope that's what the UFC does. I hope you're listening to me, UFC. Do the thing. Do the thing.
Mike, it's really going to sting when Usman gets a title shot in June, and then that's the one fight for Islam in 2026, and all these guys are waiting until 2027.
I'll be so pissed off about it, but at the same time, like the fallback plan is we're getting Morales Prates if they book that fight.
Yeah.
So, but I want Islam Morales so bad, man. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. And you know what? If Islam goes out and beats Michael Morales, I don't give a shit who Islam fights. Like, you want to call it Usman? Fine. You want to go fight Hamzat? I don't give a shit. Fine with me. Go beat Michael Morales, and you do whatever you want, man. Go do whatever you want. Let's go to the other side of things, AK. This might be the actual more interesting question.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Della Maddalena. Tough night at the office, man. Tough night at the office for Jack Della Maddalena. We talked about how frustrated he was. This fight was not competitive. I was hoping it would be more competitive. I did pick Islam to win, but even Dana White himself was like, yeah, man, I thought this fight would be more competitive. But JDM went out there and he tried. The man tried, even at the very end. He tried to fight. He just couldn't. He just could not. Islam was just way too much for this man. I'm super curious where he goes. And you know what? Perhaps this is still lazy booking. I don't care. JDM versus Carlos Prates. That's what I'm doing. Little striker versus striker action. He doesn't have to worry about the grappling. Prates and him will just kind of slug it out a little bit. I love that fight. I think that fight makes a ton of sense. I don't know how long I don't know if JDM's one of these guys who just like, man, this loss was so devastating that I have to like take some time off. Or if this is like, I got to get this stink off me and I just want to get back as soon as possible. Like Sydney's coming up or whatever. I want to go fight in Sydney. Him and Prates would be a fun ass fight. So I'm going with that.
Yeah, nothing would surprise me. If we saw him fight first quarter 2026, I'd be like, yep, makes sense. If we saw him not fight at all in 2026, I'd be like, yep, also makes sense. This was tough, man. This is a career altering loss. And again, it could be in a good way. Could be in a good way, right? That's up to Jack Della Maddalena and his team, how they react to this. But Mike, that's a great matchup. Way better than mine. I'm just booking the Sadness Olympics at this point.
No.
I'm throwing him in there with Leon. We're going with Leon. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, just let's see how much Leon has left. Maybe nothing. I don't know. Like, it feels so bad to rail on Leon for losing to 3 top 10 welterweights, but it's just kind of the way he's lost. Boy, you really felt like he peaked, at that like Colby Covington win, and it just. After when I was Bilal, like I'm a lot of people jumped off the bandwagon after the Bilal loss. People are just like, oh man, like you can't come back from that. And I didn't. I was hanging on. Even after the Sean Brady loss, I was hanging on, Mike. I'm like, 2 bad outings. He's never lost 2 straight fights before. What do you want? There's no more equivocating anymore. Like he's way past his prime. He's fought a lot. He's been in this game a long time. And I don't know how many of these losses you can take before it's like they just start piling up. And you hit that. Mike, I'm going to say it. You hit that Tony Ferguson zone. Gosh, I don't want to say that's where Leon is heading, but let's keep giving him big fights. Let's give him a guy, hey, 2 former world champions. You can sell it. Maybe it headlines a card in Australia. Maybe it's just a nice little piece you put in a pay-per-view. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going with not loser leaves town, but something happens to loser. I don't know what, though.
Yeah, because even, a lot of people, I kept saying like, because the question that kept coming up was who has the most to lose on this card? And so many people thought it was Leon. And to me, I was just like, yeah, I get it. Like, you don't want to lose 3 in a row, but we know how the UFC views Leon Edwards. They're not going to rush him back to a title fight. He's going to have to win like 8 fights in a row before he's even sniffing being in that discussion. So to me, like, even if the UFC sort of considered this, like, yeah, if he goes and gets melted again, and then we have to like cut him, like, he's fine. He'll just go to PFL and like fight alongside his brother, and PFL will probably pay him a whole shitload of money just to have his name on the roster, and like he'll get wins and he'll be fine. So I didn't think like there was like a ton of overall pressure on him. I do think the UFC is going to give him another chance, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the program. Let's go to Valentina Shevchenko. Again, Valentina just don't care what anybody thinks. She doesn't care if people think her fights aren't like the most fun. I was so impressed with what she did to Zhang Weili last night. And I already put the accountability hand up a whole bunch when it came to this because I got eaten alive last night. I said Zhang Weili was going to go out there and clobber Valentina, and boy, was I wrong. That was one of the I'm gonna have to sit with that one for a while, and I deserve every bit of criticism coming my way for that take. Happy to swallow it all. It just is. It is what it is when you put your opinions out like this. The DMs are flooded with, "I can't believe that was your take," and it is what it is. I'm happy to accept it, but yeah, what a performance from Valentina. At worst, this win puts her as the second greatest women's fighter of all time. She could be number one if you want to say she's number one. Totally fine with that. I think it's Nunes, Valentina 1 and 2. Anything else is wrong at this point. Like, she officially jumped Chris Cyborg in this conversation. Not saying that Chris isn't great and hasn't accomplished a lot, but Valentina's resume is just so much more impressive just because like she's in an actual division with like highly ranked competition, and Chris isn't. Chris beat Pacheco, and that's a terrific win. It kind of like evens things out a little bit. It kind of kept her in the number 2 spot longer, her beating Pacheco, for being honest. But after what Valentina did, just absolutely dominating the pound for pound number 1 in a lot of people's opinions, this is just so damn impressive. So what are we doing, AK? Because Valentina was asked about a move up to 135, possibly a matchup with Kayla Harrison. And usually Valentina like sort of shuts that stuff down and it's just like, yeah, I have to go home and think about it. But she said like, that's on the table. Like a fight with Harrison or going up to 135, like that is an option for her right now. So do you see that happening? A possible move up, try to get that 135 pound belt? Or do you think Valentina is going to play let's just rattle off? She's got 9 title defenses now. Crazy. 125 pounds. Does she stay there and try to catch DJ and Anderson Silva and try to catch those records? What do you think?
Yeah, and I think 10 she would tie Amanda Nunes, at least on the women's, for the most title fight wins by a woman. Not even the defense is just a winning championship fight, something like that, or maybe it's the most defenses. Anyway, first, Mike, don't be overly apologetic for your pick. I mean, I picked JDM to win the main event, so I probably had a better read on the co-main, but I mean, I could not have been farther off by the main, that's for damn sure. And I also have, Mike, a little teaser for people to stick around. Before we get to the listener picks, I have a little check the tapes for myself because I splattered doo-doo all over the place on the last episode of On to the Next One. So we'll get to that. But yes, for Valentina, I mean, Mike, I want to stay at 125. Though I will say, I'm way more interested in seeing Valentina fight Kayla than seeing Nunes Kayla, right? Is that a crazy thing to say? Like, I think Amanda Nunes Kayla is cool, but Amanda Nunes is retired. Like, she is retired. If it just feels like there's less, there's really less in the line there. I don't buy into all that legacy stuff. Like, oh man, well, if Kayla beats Amanda, what does that mean for Kayla on the all-time list? It doesn't mean anything. It means she beat Amanda. Like, she doesn't mean she surpasses Amanda on the list. Amanda's body of work is like enormous compared to Kayla's. So huge feather in the cap to Kayla if she pulled that off. But if she did, it's like, well, she beat a fighter who's been retired for the past, 2 or 3 years. So cool from a marketing standpoint, cool from a name point, cool for Kayla. I'm sure she wants it. Love to have that name. But I would love to see her fight Valentina. And yes, there'd be a huge size difference. I mean, look, it might be what Valentina just did to Zhang, but like, with Kayla in the Valentina spot, right? It's entirely possible. I find that more intriguing. But I want to stay at 125. And Mike, what number 1 contender has just been sitting on the sidelines and is still not booked? Give her shot. She does not need to fight again. She was at MSG, Natty Ice. Yep. Natalia Silva. Let's not play around. She doesn't need to fight again. Don't make her fight again. Why? She's number 1 contender. Stop messing around.
They're not gonna. And look, they're not gonna throw Valentina in there with Kayla like for the White House card. It's not gonna happen. They're gonna do the Nunes fight first.
Of course.
So while that happens, and look, if there's a very real world where Amanda Nunes fights Kayla Harrison, beats her, and if that happens, what do you think's gonna happen? They're gonna do it again, more than likely. So why sit and wait when you can keep piling up those title defenses and just, close the gap on Nunes or just completely make it inarguable that you are the greatest women's fighter of all time. Yeah. And she's right there.
And I know she'll be heavily favored. Well, she will be heavily favored, but let's be honest. she's been.
She's not though. The opening odds, I think they have her like minus 155.
No,
like,
Val, for a Natty Ice matchup.
Yeah, it's close. The opening odds were pretty tight.
Well, and that's why I like where we're at in the stage of Valentina's career, because she's this older fighter. It's like how many up and coming young challengers can she continue to knock off? Right, the division keeps getting younger and better. She theoretically keeps getting older and losing just a little bit off that fastball. Right, like she's winning a lot of these fights with technique and guile. Right, she's not going to out athleticism, out muscle, out power anyone anymore. Though she did out muscle Zhang, but I mean she was quite a bit bigger than her. A lot of it is just her years of experience, her the athletic gifts that she has left. So Natty Ice, I still think Erin Blanchfield, like a year from now, I'd love to see it. Erin Blanchfield, I'd love to see that matchup still. I still want to see Erin Blanchfield fight Valentina Shevchenko. So there are contenders at 125 who, as the time goes by, the question with the Valentina fight will be, can she keep hanging on? Can she keep hanging on? And if she does, amazing. We're talking 10, 11, 12 title defenses. And if she doesn't, you get new blood at 125. So just her staying there is so good for the division, and I think so good for the UFC.
Yeah, and there's plenty of fights for her right now.
There's a lot.
She hasn't cleaned it out at all. Like she's beat most of these fighters, but she hasn't fought Natty yet. Blanchfield, like you mentioned, and I think Blanchfield's going to need a couple more wins, honestly. Like she looked good and she did what she needed to do last night. But Manon absolutely hossed her around, and I just have a hard time just seeing her just get a title shot after beating Tracy Cortez and squeaking out a Rose win, while Manon just absolutely destroyed Jazz Devisius. So she's got a little bit more work to do. Natty Ice deserves it at this point. She probably deserved it before the Alexa Grasso fight, that she went out there and just thumped her. I think this is like a pretty compelling matchup. Like I would pick Valentina. But Natty's quick and she's athletic and she's strong and she's underrated in a lot of the things that Valentina does really well from a defensive standpoint. So I do think that's like an intriguing matchup. Macy Barber goes out there and wins at UFC 323. Like you do Barber versus Blanchfield. Finally, we get that one. And then we can, determine the next contender. So like there are fights for her. Yeah. Like she could probably get 2 or 3 more pretty easily. And then we can start talking about the move up.
Mackenzie Dern's going to beat Zhang, and then Mackenzie Dern's going to move up to 125 for another super fight. I mean, am I giving away?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious where we're going with Zhang here. Yeah, I'd like to see Natty Ice get her day in court against Valentina. Weili's not a flyweight. It's official. She ran through a division. If Zhang comes out on social media and says, I dared to be great, I'm not even mad at her because she did it in like such a respectful way.
See you at the top.
This is the complete opposite of Jamal Hill saying like Alex Pereira is the easiest fight in the history of the UFC for me. When I was at MSG and Pereira won, I couldn't be happier. I prayed to the gods above that Alex Pereira would win so I could fight him. He's that easy of a fight. And then he loses. Well, I jumped in and took a chance, folks. Like you didn't keep that same energy. It was crazy, but Zhang is so well respected that everybody just said dare to be great for her. DC said it. Everybody else said it. That she doesn't even have to say it. Everybody else did, and she took the loss in complete stride. I thought she had a great fight week, basically doing her entire media stuff in English. I thought it was incredible. But Weili's got to go fight Mackenzie Dern, and she's gonna beat the shit out of her, and she's gonna regain that belt and. Yeah, she's just, I don't know what happens after that, honestly. I mean, does she just wait for Fatima Klein to win a whole bunch of fights? So, because, I mean, she's just going to run over Mackenzie Dern, and then, I don't know what she's going to do after that, but at least, she learned a valuable lesson last night, I guess, is what I'll say.
Can I say, I think Zhang's going to take some time off to chill. She's not the most frequent fighter anyway, but I guess she had to take more time off this time to sort of bulk up to 125. But I think she's got to take some time to bulk down too. Right? I think she probably added quite a bit of muscle, So I think Mackenzie Dern, on a previous show, I have a whole lot of hypotheticals for her. I'm like, I think Jillian Robertson will beat Yasmin Lucindo in December, and Jillian Robertson will become the number 1 contender, and she will fight Mackenzie Dern sometime early next year, sometime in the first 4 months of next year. So I still think Mackenzie Dern will get to defend her title, the chance to defend her title at least once before Zhang comes back. So yes, I'm saying Zhang will fight for the title next. I just think that we'll have the Dern Robertson. I think they're gonna try and get Dern in there, at least get her at least one title fight. That's not Zhang before Zhang just comes back and takes back the belt she never lost.
Yeah, I mean, look, like you could do Weili Dern at the White House. Would be like the opening main card fight or like the featured prelim. It's like Weili is very popular. We'll see. I think the UFC will probably wait, honestly, but they like Mackenzie Dern, so maybe they'll try to maybe they'll try to give her Jillian Robertson. But like, what if Jillian Robertson wins the belt?
Then you do her and Zhang at the White House.
Yeah.
Give me some Canadian up in there.
Yeah, that's a tough. It's gonna be a tough. It's gonna be a tough scenes for pretty much everybody in this division until Fatima Klein hits her athletic prime, and who knows if Zhang will still be fighting at that point. So, let's go to the lightweight division or the 157.2 pound division, as we found out on Friday. Benoit Saint Denis. Oh no, what do we do? Oh yeah, Carlos Prates won.
You picked Prates already.
Carlos Prates won. Knocked out Leon Edwards. Yeah. Sick knockout. Leon had a pretty good first round, and you could see like Prates just kind of like talking shit to Leon the whole round. He's just like talking and laughing at him like, you can't do anything to me. And then round 2, Prates just wrecked him. It was pretty crazy. Who do you like for Carlos Prates, by the way?
Yeah, Edwards talking back was like, "That's just not your game, brother."
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone's seen, if anyone's on like street ball, TikTok, and all that. You see all those videos where like some guys talking all this trash and they try and talk and they just get destroyed. It's like, no, it's just not your game. Don't do it. I went with Shavkat. Sort of a wild card pick here. I don't know what. Again, we keep saying, we don't know what they're gonna do with Shavkat when he comes back. In a perfect world, in a just world, he would fight Usman, right? Usman would have to go through him to earn that title shot. We've deliberated over this already. I don't know if the UFC has any plan to do that, like make Usman fight once more before whatever they want to do with him. So yeah, I just think it'd be interesting. Prates is just in a weird spot because the Ian Machado Gary loss, which again should not rule him out of a title shot anytime soon, but it does feel like just by the nature, especially if Machado Gary wins next week, we feel really weird to leapfrog Prates over him. So he's got to fight someone. Shavkat, I hope, will be back sometime in the first 6 months of 2026. Because if he's not, I don't think Prates is going to wait for him. Prates will just find another fight. He likes to fight and knock people out. But yeah, we'd love to see that matchup.
Yeah, Shavkat could have done the thing multiple times this week, and I'm not blaming him because I don't know what's going on with them. But even Jed said, like, can you imagine if he just like showed up on Friday to weigh-ins as the backup fighter and nobody knew? He just did the Colby at UFC 286 and just walked on the scale. Here's your backup fighter, Shavkat Rakhmonov, and he made like 169.5. That would have been like, oh shit, that'd have been awesome. And then like the pro wrestling fan in me is like, imagine if Islam was like talking to Joe Rogan and the lights went out and then like the lights go back on, Shavkat was in the cage. And, like, how sick would that have been? It would have been so sick.
You are booking an entirely other fighter. He's not going to do any of these things.
He doesn't even have to say anything. He just stands there and just like does what he does. Just stands there looking like an absolute menace, looking like a scary man. But I hope Shavkat comes back soon. The division is just way cooler with him in it. And sure, if they do Prates, like, I'm into it. I want Shavkat Usman. That's the one, man. That is the one. So yeah, 170 is fun. It's great to talk about 170 like this because a couple of years ago we were not talking about 170 like this, and we were like, man, Colby's getting title shots without actually fighting anybody. Like, was out for a year, almost 2 years, and got a title shot. And now look where this division has come. It's so great. It's one of the better divisions in the sport again. I love this. It's so damn good. Let's talk about Benoit Saint Denis, a guy that, not a lot of people were like pouring dirt on his grave, but after the Renato Moicano loss, they were like, all right, he's just going to be kind of like a fun dude. He's going to be a Drew Dober type at 155 pounds, and there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, goes out and beats Kyle Prepelec, and we're just like, okay, cool. Then he beats Mauricio Hoofy, and we're like, okay, Hoofy doesn't have any grappling whatsoever. We learned that about him. People weren't giving him maybe the credit he deserved for that win. And then he just wrecked Beneil Dariush. Like, literally, just the first punch he landed just killed him. 16 seconds is all it took, and Dariush, he can get got good, but 16 seconds, not a lot of people do that to Beneil Dariush. So I'm going with Rafael Fiziev for Benny D.
That's it.
Or BSD.
Yeah, order of elimination. I'm sure you looked at your rankings and you're like, top 5 guys. He's not getting any of those guys. Some people we think that some people that are either booked or we're pretty confident will get booked for certain matchups, within the next like 4 or 5 months. So Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. He's just kind of got to creep his way up the top 10 rankings, unfortunately. But hopefully, fingers crossed, lightweight is in, a year from now is in the spot where welterweight is, where some of the older fighters have at least kind of moved out of the way, or at least give opportunities to some of these up and coming guys. So yeah, that's the way to go. We're not even friends. Like, we've had a few friends forever moments this episode, Mike, but we're not even doing it because I think some of them are just pretty obvious. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, it should be physique next. I just can't imagine where else he goes.
I like with the Leon loss, I was like, it's kind of sad. But again, like, Leon has options. Like, he can just go to PFL if like UFC releases him or something. And he's got another option, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But man, we're approaching. I feel like we're on a bad road with Beneil Dariush. I have a feeling I feel like we're about to hit some real sad territory with him. Missing weight, getting nuked in 16 seconds by a guy a lot of people thought was like a pretty live underdog, honestly. I mean, he's in the wrong division, man, to be kind of making this downturn in his career, because it's not like they're going to give him like Jim Miller next. They're just going to throw him to the absolute wolves. Like, all the up and comers who like nobody wants to fight, that's who BSD is going to be fighting from now on. And I don't even want to see it.
Beneil, you mean?
Beneil, excuse me.
Beneil,
I'm
yes,
sorry.
Yeah.
That's kind of where he's at right now, and it's a bummer because he's just gonna keep getting knocked out, I think.
Yeah, he's this is his 16th year of MMA competition, so he'll be entering year 17, I should say. And three first round knockouts in his past 4 fights, and again against really good fighters, but still, like you said, that's kind of they're not giving him like a someone outside the top 30. He's going to be fighting. You're right, these range 16 to 20 guys that are coming up and are probably very dangerous, and I might see more first round finishes in the future for Dariush on the wrong end.
I'll tell you what, man, he is so lucky. He is so lucky that Joel Alvarez moved up to 170, because they would have fed his ass to Joel Alvarez, and that would have been horrible.
I don't want to see that.
But dude, now he's gonna fight like Killen Salkild next.
Like, oh no,
God! I mean, that's what it is. That's who he's gonna have to fight. He's got to fight like Manuel Torres. Like, these are the dudes that he's gonna have to fight. Ugh, it's just so sad. Baja Mondays, like, oh no.
Take it easy, Beneil. Take it easy, man.
I was kind of hoping he would lay him down last night.
I didn't think he would.
I know, but I wish he did. I really wish he did. Let's go to the wild card round, AK.
Oh, I love this.
This is where things could get a little interesting.
Mike, I got a good one.
You teased me. You teased it last night. You said,
I'm so excited.
Obviously, we're doing the watch party and we're doing a million things. Maybe this was during the post-fight show, and you hit me up, DM me on Slack, and said, I have like an incredible wild card pick. So I'm solo screening you, AK. So for those of you who are newer to the show, wild card round is we select one fighter from who competed last night that we have not match made for yet, and we'll match make for him right now. So it could be a winner from the prelims, could be somebody who lost in the main card. It could be anybody. Could even be a boat, AK. So who's your wild card pick?
Mike, don't solo screen me. I need you for this. Actually, this is audience. I need some audience interaction here. I need some audience and best friend interaction. First off, you know what? I want to go into the listener picks on a high note. So let me do my doo-doo check on myself, Mike. And you know what? There's a little bit of doo-doo on you too, sir, because you didn't stop. I can't. You let this go unchecked. You didn't stop me when it happened. Daniel Marcos last week won a fight, and he was my wild card pick. Or was in the main card. Either way, I had to pick a fight for Daniel Marcos, and I said Montel Jackson because I was like, oh, Montel Jackson's on his way down, and Daniel Marcos on his way up. You know, Mike, Daniel Marcos has 1 loss in his record, and it was to friggin' Montel Jackson 6 months ago. I don't know what I was doing.
To our defense.
Huh?
To our defense.
There's no defense for this.
Oh no, I'm gonna go ahead and, the accountability hand was up for the Zhang pick, and there's no defense for that. It was coming off of like just a shit Apex card, and we were just ready to get over this.
No,
like,
that's
we were
no
just ready to
excuse.
get to UFC 322. So forgiven.
No, it's not forgiven.
Forgiven. You get it's like a free bet at a casino.
No,
you lost it, but like it was a free one. That's what I'm giving you here. A free doo-doo pick.
No, I you're so gracious. I do not accept it. I put doo-doo all over the horrible pick. Shout out to Danny Florenzo. A few people reached out to me. Danny Florenzo, you were the first. Shout out to you, sir. Thank you for the correction. Will never ever happen again. So I want to make up for it because my wild card pick this week, Mike. I don't know if you went with this guy too. Jimmy Suss.
Oh no, no.
By Sengar Susakayev. Okay, Mike, this is where I need you. Now, Mike,
you're gonna do it, aren't you?
I'm gonna do it. Mike, who did Susakayev beat in his first UFC fight? Give me their full name.
Oh, Jesus.
You look it up. You can look it up. We'll take time. People in the comments can probably already know where I'm going with this. They already know where I'm going with this. Who did he beat in? He won the Contender Series and he debuted.
Oh, Eric Nolan.
Eric Nolan. Who did he beat on Saturday, Mike?
Eric Makhachev. Oh.
Let me tell you something. I love a good gimmick.
Oh, no.
This man,
Oh, no.
Mike, this man might be the Eric killer. And there just happens to be another. Why are you covering your face? There happens to be another.
This is so great.
Another prominent Eric who has been who was a mainstay in the middleweight division for years. Sounds like he has a retirement fight. Who better to send off Eric Anders off into the sunset than the Eric/Eric with the K killer by Sanger Susurkayev? You are welcome, everyone. That is it. That is the matchup that will happen.
AK, I got to be honest with you. Not only am I taking away the Marcos Montel Jackson doo-doo, but I'm removing the last 5 doo-doo picks that you've had. Because this is so good. This is so good. I did not see this coming, honestly. I thought you were just going to give him Bo Nickal. My heart hurts a little bit because I just don't want to see Eric just get killed in his retirement fight, because that's what will probably happen here. Jed was saying, like, just give him Bo Nickal. Like, let's just do it. Maybe Bo can humble him up a little bit, or the other way around, I guess. But this is actually, like, really, like, this is the kind of matchmaking you do for Eric Anders, right? If it's his retirement fight, like, you have to put over the new breed. You have to take the L, and this is just a brilliant wild card pick from you. I went with like a super obvious one. I'm just going to keep saying it. This is the last time I'm going to suggest this, because if you don't do this now, then you're just I just don't know what we're doing here. The fact that it hasn't happened yet is absolutely insane. But now, like, the time is just now it's just so perfect that there's no other fight that can be made. We're doing Leon Edwards, Jorge Masvidal now. Now it is like, it actually makes more sense than it did like doing it now or doing it before. But like, do it at the freaking White House, man. I don't give a shit. Like, just do it there. Like, let's just settle this. Like, Edwards' final fight in the UFC, you can let him go afterwards. Masvidal seems like he just wants to do this one and be done, which is okay. Masvidal said like the UFC was pissed at him for something. Dana White refuted that at the press conference last night. So, dude, just do that. Like, how is that? Like, that's a fine White House fight. It's a fine one. So go ahead and do that. That's what I'm picking. Let's give Leon his opportunity to get one back. Like, the man was a champion. He did do a lot for your promotion. You didn't want him to be champion. That's for damn sure. But he did it. He helped draw a gate for you at UFC 286, which was a very good pay-per-view for them financially. And Leon was a big part of that, being the UK champ. And yeah, this could be his like goodbye present. Give him Masvidal the fight he wants. Let's just go ahead and do that. So a less creative wild card pick than you had.
No,
but very good.
It's great though. It has to happen. I mean, the whole 3-piece Minnesota incident is like some of the most money the UFC has ever like lost on what should have been promotional, home run. Like, that was a fastball right down the middle. They could have knocked out of the park. I can't remember if there were reasons the fight didn't materialize at the time it did, but it just felt like there were moments where they easily could have like put a little effort into putting this one together. And I don't know, maybe it's Masvidal side, Edwards side, the UFC matchmakers. I don't know. They got to fight before it's over. I don't know. We need to see these two fight. There's still so much money to be made there. And I think you're right. I think White House honestly would be perfect. I think that's such a great like fight that would draw some more casual interest to watching a White House card. Though it's not gonna have any trouble with that anyway. But yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah. So I will say, just kind of looking at women's strawweight right now, because I know Lazy Bet is very excited about Fatima Klein. I'm not gonna say we're back, but we're in a good spot right now. We have Jillian Robertson on the way up. We have Denise Gomes. I'm very excited about Alexia Tainara.
Yeah.
I really like her.
She's going to fight Zhang at some point.
She could be like a Michael Morales type in this division, I think. Like, she's just so good and so fun to watch. And now you got Klein moving up too. Like, we got some fun. If Zhang Weili like fights for the next if she's around, because when she fights Mackenzie Dern, she's going to absolutely destroy her, and she'll be champion for quite some time for as long as she wants to. But eventually, she's going to have to fight like Tainara and Klein. Like those are two like awesome fights to look forward to, like 2 or 3 years down the road. It's just really, really fun. So, all right, time to hear from you guys. If you got super chats, you guys guaranteed to get on the show. We'll run through these for the next, 10 or 15 minutes or so, and then we'll get on out of here. So Jerome says, if Usman doesn't get the shot, who should he fight next? Does he risk a Prates or Morales matchup?
That's a really good question.
I mean, it's Usman's fighting Shop. Like, Usman needs to fight Shavkat.
He should.
That is the fight.
That's the fight. Oh, who should he fight? Okay. This is asking who should. Okay, I thought it said, well, who will he end up fighting? Because who will he end up fighting, man? I don't know. I think he's gonna. I think Mike, like you said, he's playing it cool now. I think once the calendar turns, he's gonna be stumping pretty damn hard for that Islam fight. But he's got a lot of podcast time to fill up.
But even after, but it doesn't matter because Islam didn't say his name when it mattered. But honestly, like after, and I know Shavkat was reportedly injured heading into that fight. But even after like Usman watched Ian Machado Gary like almost finish Shavkat Rakhmonov, you would think that Usman probably looked at that fight and was like, you know what? I might be able to beat that guy. And like that is the win. For like anybody in this conversation who doesn't get the next title shot, like if you go out there and beat Shavkat, like you're in. It doesn't matter like where you're at in this division. You go out there and you beat Shavkat, you're getting a title shot. So if Usman doesn't get it, like he should be all in on the Shavkat fight without question. So that's what I want to see. Like I want to see if Usman's like really back. Because if he goes out there and beats Shavkat, like, all right, give me Islam. Like I'm super intrigued by that fight. I'm not intrigued by it now. I think Islam beats him convincingly. I think he wins like a 4-1 decision. I'm not saying like Usman doesn't have a moment and there's not like some good grappling exchanges, but I think Islam wins that fight. I feel pretty confident in that. But if he goes out there and just like dummy Shavkat, boy, we got a whole different conversation here. I'd probably still pick Islam, but at least I'd be more intrigued by the fight. So that's what I would do. So, yeah.
This won't happen, but I would love to see him, other than the picks we made, obviously I said, whatever I said earlier in the show, I would love to see him fight the winner of the Qatar, the Bilal Muhammad and Ian Machado Gary fight. It's not gonna happen. Because again, we sort of talked about the Masvidal Ali on beef. I really think that beef with him and Bilal needs to resolve at some point, but that can always happen later, I guess. I guess that doesn't need to happen anytime soon while Usman's on his like last title hunt. And Ian Machado Gary, a lot of people are saying if he wins sort of like a, not super convincing decision over Bilal, that he shouldn't leapfrog, Michael Morales or more people want to see Carlos Prates, the guy that Ian Machado Gary beat. They want to see him fight for the title more. So I wonder if Ian Machado Gary would be interested in fighting Kamaru and earning like locking down his shot that way. Again, I don't think this will happen. This is what I would like to see, but I'm not sure. I'm sure they go that way.
Yeah. I mean, if they do that, I'm fine with that too. I'm good with that as well. Let's go to Seema. Edwards versus Amosov in Amosov's debut. Yes, he has signed with. Well, he hasn't like officially signed with the UFC, but it's basically like we just need to put a pen on a piece of paper, essentially, and it's done. The plan is, from what I understand, is they want to get him out there before the end of the year. There's some rumor and innuendo out there about who he could possibly face. I think some people have probably seen it or tried to guess it. But again, not like fully confirmed, but Amosov will be in the UFC. Him and Edwards is actually pretty interesting. JDM versus Brady, Jimmy Suss versus Dusko Todorovic, Prates versus Buckley. I think he's ahead of Mr. Buckley, unfortunately. Blanchfield Fioro 2, BSD versus the Dawson Torres winner. Yeah, I don't hate that. Bo Nickal versus the winner of Ferreira Vittori.
When's that one going down? Is that this year?
320. Is that
323? It has to be this year because there's no fights booked for.
Is that 323 that fight's happening?
323. Yes, the last pay-per-view. Wow, I was not aware. Bo Nickal versus the winner of.
Boy, that's. I don't know, man.
I said before before Saturday, I want them to keep Bo Nickal in this range because I think Rodolfo Vera was actually like a really smart matchup for him. I guess Bruno Ferreira would fall into that range, and maybe even Marvin too, because Marvin, like, I know he's been ranked for a long time, but like he's had not the greatest success actually winning fights in the past couple of years. So maybe Marvin is closer to that sort of like 16 to 25 range. But that's where I want to keep Bo. I have no interest in throwing Bo with ranked people. It's just it doesn't need to right now. He doesn't need to right now. The Paul Craig fight was fine. Like that was them, so they get a number next to his name. And then I think the RDR fight was much more revealing as to where his like current skill set is. So Bo is, I still think could be a future champion, but there's so much work that needs to be done, guys. Like I don't even think he'll be ready until, honestly, like realistic shot of winning the championship 2028. That's how far ahead I'm looking for Bo Nickal. And I know he's not a super young guy, but he is very young in MMA years. I just don't think he's anywhere close to actually competing for a title and beating a top 5, top 6, 7, 8 guy. He's not close.
You know who I'd give Bo Nickal to? Andre Petrosky. It's time.
There you go. Perfect.
It's time. Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense to do that. Or you could always just throw him in there with Mikhail Zaitchuk. That's always fun. He knows how to get got very, very well. If you're going vet, like super vet, I would go like Brad Tavares and no higher. And even that is like, he's a little squirrely, but I think Brad's just kind of like so far in the back end at this point. Like it'd be a good little kind of a challenge, but yeah, there's just no need to rush him. Like I wouldn't even give him like Kyle Dawkins right now. Like that's just a really tough fight. Eric Anders, I wouldn't hate. I know it ruins your plans of the Eric killers, but I don't hate that. Shabazian, maybe? Even then is like, I don't know, even that's like a little risky. But he could kind of just grapple Shabazian a little bit. I don't know. Bo's interesting to match up right now. I'm kind of glad he wasn't on the main card, so we didn't have to like figure this one out. But
yeah.
But I think Petrosky's kind of like the right fight right now. Hey man, I'm giving Leon a step down with him fighting Jeff Neal.
Okay. That's not too bad. I just remembered last week.
Masvidal's a pretty significant step down, if we're being honest, right?
I just remembered that would be a significant step down. Yes, I just remembered last week that so I kind of screwed up my pick already. I remember I said I wanted Bonfim, him to get Gabriel Bonfim, win, lose or draw. Oh, yeah. I think I was expecting a win. I think, but so maybe I'm cooler on it now. How low? So Mike, let me bring up some rankings here. How low would you go for Leon? So I have Bonfim around like the 11 to 15 range. So I think that's low. Stephen Thompson's around there. You can always kind of dust off that kind of matchup. I have Neal 15. Okay, so still in the top 15 for me. What about Daniel Rodriguez? Too low?
I mean, if you believe what you read on the interwebs, I don't know if D-Rod's fighting anybody.
Oh, right.
Anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm still not caught up on that drama.
Mike
Fakhretdinov? Wow, Michael. So Mike Malott outside the top 20. So that's super low for me.
Kevin Holland?
Yeah, that's again outside the top. So that's, you're happy, you would be fine with going outside the top 20 for Leon's next matchup.
I would give him Masvidal. Like I honestly think there's
unranked.
Because I don't know, like I just don't know what like. I'm trying to think like who could get the rub here, where it like means something. And it might be, I think Malott's like the only guy, but like even the Holland win like didn't do a whole lot for him, but he's kind of in a position now where like you have to kind of run with him and just give him the push now and just kind of see, because you don't have like, you need a face of Canada in this sport. Like you just have to have it, and they don't have one.
No, right now it's me. And that's just
you're the face. You're the face of Canadian MMA.
We have reached it's not good.
Yeah. And, Jillian Roberts is a great fighter, but she doesn't have the gift of gab. Mike Malott does. So, I mean, if they're not going to do Masvidal, I would do Mike. I would do Malott and just see what happens. If he loses, like, who gives a shit? But if he wins, like, you could put him in the mix. Try to push him. So, but he's, like, the only guy I think that can really gain a whole lot from this. Like if we're not really. I mean, it'd be, like, a good win, but, like, I just don't know. Bonfim maybe, but I don't even know like if he would gain a whole lot from this.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Mike, real quick, Xtran1 is asking, we just got another super chat, but Xtran1 is asking us, who would you match up Wellmaker with now? And I'm going Ricky Tercios.
Oh God, I'll get there in a sec. Okay. Terrence, Rose is getting a fight. Can we get Rose versus Grasso? Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
Very logical. Very.
It's
logical
actually the right fight is Rose Andrade 3 at 125. That's what we should be doing. Because Rose is not in the title picture right now. So let's just do fun fights with her. Mike Brown, I still have Ilya's pound for pound. He went up and won by KO in the first. Islam couldn't get the finish. I mean, look, I respect the take. It is super spicy, in my opinion. I still had Islam number 1, even after Ilya beat Charles. As much as I loved the Ilya win and I was blown away by it, I just think Islam just deserves that spot with what he's accomplished. So I didn't have to really change a whole lot in my pound for pound rankings. What's weird about doing the pound for pound rankings is I had JDM in a spot where like I didn't drop him a single spot.
No.
Like that never happens.
I didn't have him that high. So that's the thing.
Yeah, I think I had him like 9, and I think he's just gonna stay at 9.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, look, if you have Ilya pound for pound, like that's great. Like it's cool. I don't agree with it, but it doesn't mean like you're a bad person or anything. It's fine. Oh, so Malcolm Wellmaker.
Before you get to that, Mike, let me just say
please.
shout outs to New York Knicks head coach Mike Brown for taking the time to go in our show. Thank you, Mike Brown.
That was an ATT head coach, Mike Brown.
Oh, maybe. Sorry, I'm sorry. I should have made the MMA reference. I don't subscribe to the thought that just because Islam couldn't get the finish, Islam beat the guy that Ilya beat to win the vacant title, right? So it's not like I don't know. You're right, Mike. There's no problem with Ilya being number 1, but I just don't think you could rule out Islam number 1 just because Ilya came up and finished a guy that Islam Makhachev also finished. Like he beat Charles Oliveira. Like it's not like Ilya did anything at lightweight that Islam hasn't done. So it might never be resolved until they see them fight each other. But yeah, you can't go wrong. That's just my defense for Islam number 1. Wellmaker, Mike.
I don't know. I kind of like to see AJ Cunningham kind of take a L like that, for being honest.
That's what he's there for.
Nathan Fletcher,
sure.
Vince Morales, like
I think our point is I don't know. I don't want to criticize Wellmaker for what happened because I think I want to praise Ethan Ewing more. I think Ethan Ewing is just really good. Like coming on a week's notice, winning a title, by the way, and winning any title, even on the regional scene, is nothing to shake a stick at. And that's what Ethan Ewing did last Friday for Uriah Faber's fight promotion. So he's already kind of like a guy who was like we would keep an eye on. I think what the plan would have been to get him on like Contender Series next year. I don't think they were going to sign him to the UFC anytime soon. So good for him for jumping on opportunities. So good for Ewing. Wellmaker will be fine, man. Like he's not I think the misconception is that like he's a super young bantamweight, which he is not. He is 31, which isn't old, but in this division, you get old fast. Let me put it that way. So I get the need to sort of want to maybe push him a little bit faster. But I hope you're right, Mike. I hope we get someone sort of in the range you mentioned, or like a Ricky Chircios, like I said. Like let's give him another year of seasoning. Let's look at him at age 32 and let's see where he is there because he has a ton of talent. I think Malcolm Wellmaker is gonna be just fine.
Look, Jed and I have been on record with Malcolm Wellmaker like pretty much consistently. I saw Malcolm fight live multiple times. When Masvidal had a legit MMA promotion, they did 2 cards in Savannah, and Malcolm Wellmaker opened the main card on both of them, and got first round knockouts and like jumped over the cage. And him and Masvidal had moments, and it was like pretty cool. Like it was pretty cool, and you could see like this dude's just really fun, and he's got like a great personality. He lights up a room, and like he makes the UFC better. Honestly, like he just does, just who he is as a human being. What the Serhiy Sadai fight, I still think like Malcolm would have like nuked him. Because there's just not a lot of dudes in this division that can really like take that shot, and unless you're like a super high level like defensive fighter, and Serhiy Sadai is not that. So when they booked the Cody Haddon fight, I was like, all right, this is really good matchmaking for me, because we are going to learn everything we need to know about Malcolm Wellmaker. Either if he goes in there, because I even said like if he went out there like knocked out Cody Haddon in the first round, I would have come on this show. My wildcard pick would have been Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cheeto Vera. Like I would have went that high with him, because he's not a young man, AK. Like you have to push him. Like they tried, but you like if you're going to do the Chris Patino thing and he goes out and beats like a super good prospect in Cody, like you just got to push him to the moon and just step on the gas full throttle until it's over. And if he lost, it's just like, okay, cool. Like he could just be like a Nico Price or Jed said Terrence McKinney at bantamweight. Like Terrence McKinney's not going to be the lightweight champion, and that's okay. And no one is mad when Terrence McKinney fights. It's the same thing with Malcolm Wellmaker. Like no one's like, I still see people say like he's fraud check. Like what the fuck are you talking about? Like now we know who he is. He's just going to be a dude who's going to get in there and get into like really fun scraps. And he's probably going to get a whole bunch of finishes that are going to win fight of the night bonuses. And it's somebody that the UFC can build and tell his story. And he could be like a great advocate for the company. Like you could send him to like literally every event to be like the representative in the face of your organization in a lot of respects. Like he is going to be a pivotal piece of the puzzle. So the full fraud check thing is kind of nuts because if you really looked at what was happening here, like Malcolm Wellmaker losing a fight, like shouldn't be a shock to anybody. Like he's older and he's green, still green as grass in a lot of respects, but he is fun and he's good for the promotion in a lot of ways. Like it's fine that he lost. Like what a great story it was for Ethan Ewing. Like good for Ethan Ewing, man. That's a moment he'll never forget. And it was a good fight with Malcolm Wellmaker. So I mean, he's going to be fine. He's still going to be like an over dude in the company. He's going to be a fan favorite forever. And I can assure you, and I don't know if he's made a statement or anything yet, but it'll probably be like the classiest friggin' statement you've ever seen. So I like Malcolm Wellmaker a lot. Yeah, he's not going to be a champion or anything, but who cares? Like, it's okay. You know how hard it is to be a UFC champion? It's very difficult. Very difficult. But Malcolm Wellmaker is one of those guys where, you know, you put him, I think he could be in like a Derek Lewis type situation or, you know, where like there are certain fighters who like don't need belts. It just doesn't matter. Like you're just excited to see him. And I think he's one of those guys. So good for Malcolm. I think he's going to be in the UFC for as long as he continues fighting. I don't think he'll ever get cut. I think he's just a dude who is going to be employed forever. So shout out Malcolm Wellmaker. He's going to learn from this. He's going to come back. He's certainly going to get wins. He's going to get a bunch of bonuses. It's all good, man. It's all good. I like him a lot. So there you have it. All right, what else do we have? Eamon reports says Cutlass Mearshart. Yeah, it's tough, man. I love Gerald too, but yeah, not great. You're muted, AK.
4 straight losses. Turns 38 in December. 38 years young, Mike. It's tough, man, and that was a really tough outing to go on. And honestly, I also, let's not forget, he's been around for a while, so I guarantee he's probably a little bit up there when it comes to how much he's getting paid, which, you know, this is a business they run, and when they look at who to release, guys like Gerald are eventually going to go. And it sucks because Gerald, like we said, is an exciting guy, good with the media, just a fun guy, just a good guy you want to have around, but that was a really tough outing, and really brutal to watch post Duke Roufus, obviously. It's been a month now since, you know, I meant on a previous On to the Next one to sort of do a little eulogy for Duke. It's been a month now, so I know the timing's a bit off, but I think it's still fresh in people's minds, obviously with Gerald fighting, with Joe Rogan getting very choked up on air about it. And I think that said a lot about, you know, just God, what an impact that Duke had. Because listen, I did not know the guy personally. I spoke to him on the phone maybe a handful of times because he was very open with wanting to talk about his fighters, and you know, if you need a quick quote from him, Duke was very open about that. So just speaking from a personal standpoint, I was really sad and really affected. And then you think about all the fighters' lives he touched, all the friends and family that of their lives that he touched. Like, so yeah, man. So, you know, we do happy trails on this show sometimes, and happy trails to Duke, and maybe happy trails to Gerald as far as his UFC career goes. But I would think that if this is the last time we see Gerald Mearshart fight in the UFC, it won't be the last time you see him in combat sports. He's going to be out there, man. He's going to be out there staying busy. So maybe it is for the best, actually, for GM3 to kind of maybe take a step back away from the octagon and see what late career combat sports options he has. You know,
I think he's going to be a terrific coach, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's going to be a terrific coach. By the way, we'll take a couple more. What do you think of this? Bo Nickal versus Torres Finney. Do we sacrifice Bo Nickal to the?
I was going to say, why do you want to see Bo just get? We're just getting his. Are you people that upset with his post-fight promo that you just want to see him get 20? You want to see him get majority decisioned by Torres Finney? Because if that's what you want, then you make that fight happen.
Yeah. Joseph had a couple. Fatima Klein versus Jessica Andrade.
Didn't you? I thought you mentioned you wanted to see that on a previous show or something, if Fatima Klein won. I don't know why. Maybe it's just in my head. I thought that or maybe it was someone else you matched up with another young fighter.
Rose. No.
Rose. You want to see the Rose? Okay.
Yeah.
Who was it then? Maybe it was one of our brilliant listeners / viewers who are trying to who matched up Andrade with a younger fighter. I'm not against it. I totally underestimated Fatima Klein. I know all the hype. I thought Angela Hill was a big step up. I had to be reminded that, listen, in cage time is a thing, and I think they showed on the broadcast she's now something like top 5. Angela Hill with 7+ hours of in cage time. That's a lot of wear and tear on the body, plus all the training.
29 UFC fights.
Yeah, man. And again, I know she started her career with the UFC, so it's not like she had a lengthy career before that, but she's been in the UFC for a long time. She's fought many times. So, but all the credit to Fatima Klein. No, I'm not saying any of this stuff that Angela Hill's just on the decline. This win doesn't mean anything. I think this win means a lot, man. I think beating a veteran like Angela Hill.
It's a great win.
Yeah, it's a great win. Fatima Klein looked fantastic in all regards. So, young fighter, still a ways away. But I feel like you could give her Andrade.
I think you could. Andrade. I don't think I'd learn anything from that fight, though.
Yeah. I think you could do it, though.
I would rather give her Amanda Ribas.
Wow, that's a tough fight. You would learn a lot more from that fight, that's for sure.
For sure. I like the Ribas fight. Ribas, I mean, Andrade's just higher ranked, but I think Ribas, we get a little more of a gauge. And I think I would pick Klein to win that fight, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
I think most people would.
I think it's a more impactful win right now than, Jessica Andrade at this point, who is just kind of getting run out there to get run over. And we just kind of have that same feeling. Joseph also says the Erin Blanchfield versus Macy Barber rebooking. Of course, Macy's got to win at UFC 323, which if she does, who's she fighting? Karine Silva. If she beats Karine Silva, I think that's 100% the fight you have to make at this point. So, and I know Erin Blanchfield's going to be like, well, I'm not fighting her because she didn't fight and missed weight and all that stuff. Erin's really not in a position to say no, honestly. So I think that's the fight that will 100% happen. Klein versus Ricci. That's interesting. That's a tough fight, man. I think we're a little early on that. Ricci just had the best performance of her career against Amanda Ribas. She beat the shit out of her, real bad. So
they got to be.
I don't think we're there just yet, but close.
They got to be thoughtful of where they go with Klein. She's very young. Yeah, she's very young, and I know we're excited. 3-0 at her proper weight class. Her one loss was she took short notice of flyweight. We knew that wasn't a good idea. But it was just sort of getting her foot in the door, and I think she wanted to test herself.
Yeah.
3-0. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? We'll be talking a lot about Fatima Klein in the future for sure.
So no doubt about it. Kind of She's very impressive. I was impressed with Angela Hill as well because she's a freak of nature. How she survived a lot of those big shots, especially that combination where she landed a big shot and Angela kind of dropped to a knee, and then the second Angela stood up, she kicked her right in the friggin' face. That was so nasty. And Angela just ate it. She's just so damn tough. Shout out to Angela Hill. Great win for Fatima Klein. UFC 322 is officially in the books. This episode is officially in the books. But before we get out of here, let me just give a rundown because, guys, we have another pretty fun fight next week and fight card next week. The UFC heads to Qatar, and it's a big event for a couple of different divisions here, which I'm very excited about. Big, huge opportunity for Arman Sarukian to get into certainly the lightweight championship conversation. He headlines against Dan Hooker. Obviously, early day MMA, 10 a.m. Eastern. Love that. 1 p.m. main card. Co-main event, Bilal Muhammad versus Ian Machado Gary. Wish this is a 5-rounder. Really wish this is 5 rounds, but it isn't. Featured bout, Volkan Ozdemir versus Alonzo Menafield. So, fight of the night potential is there. Alonzo Menafield, Mr. Fight of the Night. Jack Hermanson moving down to welterweight to face Miktabek Oralbai. What a fascinating, weird-ass fight that was never on my bingo card, ever. Happening on the main card next week. We have Sergey Spivak versus Shamil Gadziev. Boy, we could get uber heavyweighty in Qatar when that fight happens. Main card opens in the flyweight division. AK, did you know that Alex Perez is fighting on Saturday?
What?
He's fighting Asu Amabayev.
Well, we'll see.
It is on the books.
Contact me a week. Let's see you next Saturday. Still.
And then the prelims, we have Luke Riley versus Bogdan Grad. We have Abdul Rahman Yakeyev against Rafael Cerqueira. How dare you? How dare you put Kyoji Horiguchi in the prelims?
That's crazy.
I hope they change this.
Please, yes.
Can we please take the light heavyweight fight off and put or the heavyweight fight off and put one of the best flyweights in the world up there, for Christ's sake?
This cannot be the finalized card. Please do not finalize this like this.
Horiguchi versus Takir Ulanbekov. I really love this next fight I'm about to read up. Beksat Almakhan versus Alexandra Topuria. Great fight. Ryan Loder. Tough for life, baby. Taking on Ishmael Nardiev. Tough fight for Mr. Ryan Loder. This fight I really like. Narulo Alia versus Shemrock, making his UFC debut. We have Saigid Iza Gakmaya versus Nicholas Dalby. Not in Brazil, so Nicholas Dalby could be in some trouble. And opening things up, we have Marek Bulio versus Denzel Freeman in a heavyweight contest. So that is UFC Qatar. Pretty decent fight night card. Like, there's a lot to like. Hopefully the bout order is fixed up in a nice way. And yeah, little something for everybody, AK.
Something weird's gonna happen. This card looks weird on paper, and I think we're gonna be back to using the word weird again. There's that stretch where I think we used the word weird for like 4 straight cards or something, and then I think things sort of leveled out. No, that's not true. Things have not leveled out at all, except for this card. And I think next week, oh boy, it's gonna be weird again, Mike. It's weird again.
Yes, shout out to Denzel Freeman. I didn't even know he signed with the UFC. The former LFA heavyweight champion, getting this opportunity. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, which means we're gonna have a 9:30 a.m. People's Pre-Fight show. Scratches me right where I itch. So thank you guys very much. Obviously more UFC 322 talk throughout the week on BTL and other shows. For AK, I am Mike Heck. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. You guys rock, and thanks for sticking with us through all the craziness.